Hi, everybody. I hope you all had a good couple of days off last week. This week, we also have another day off. So Wednesday is also a holiday. So really only, as far as our class is concerned, we have this one Zoom class recording that you guys are going to be watching this week. And then there won't be another one until next Monday. So please look on the Blackboard site under announcements on Monday. That would be Monday 1 week from today. So Monday the 20th will be the next recording after this one. So look for that. But in the meantime, I want to go over some things that we're going to be doing this week, the assignments that are due. And we're going to start with a check-in of the syllabus, just to make sure that we're all up to date about what's coming up. So I'm going to turn on screen sharing, and we're all going to go to the Blackboard site, and we're going to go under content. And from there, we're going to open the syllabus. So the syllabus, really, you should be in the habit of checking it a couple of times a week at least, just to see what's happening, what's coming up. I do update it very frequently. So you're going to scroll down to this course schedule, the last 3 pages. All right. So bringing us up to today's date, right? Monday, the 13th. So watch video posted under announcements. You're already doing that right now. Discussion board post 2. We're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be talking about the literacy narrative examples and the expectations for the literacy narrative assignment. Okay, so that's under the syllabus. Note that Wednesday is a holiday, no assignments due. No more classes until Monday. And notice that on Monday, the literacy narrative is due before midnight on Monday. So we'll have one more chance to talk about it before it's due. I will get in touch with everybody, and we're going to talk about that. So let's go to our class under Unit 1. So notice that right underneath the syllabus, under content, is the Unit 1 folder. That's where everything is so far, because we are still in the first unit. And as I explained, I think in the last class, every unit is organized around a major assignment. Right? So the literacy narrative assignment is this one right here. So note that due date, once again, Monday, the 20th. So let's just click on it. Okay, this is our first major paper in this class, is the literacy narrative assignment. The length will be 900 to 1100 words. So that's approximately 3 to 4 pages double spaced. It needs to be in Microsoft Word, okay? You need to include 1 image. So that could be copied and pasted. That could be a photograph that you take yourself. That could be something that you download from the internet that connects to your literacy narrative topic. It could be an image of the cover of the book that you're discussing. You know, it's up to you. This is the most creative of all of the assignments, the literacy narrative. And I think most people have a good time actually with this one. So Monday, September 20th before midnight, that is the due date. So I'm just going to read the expectations here. The first writing assignment is meant to help you express in writing your feelings about reading. Because it's a short paper, it will focus on a memorable experience you had with a book, poem, graphic novel, or piece of literature. So note that it's not about the book itself, it's about a memorable experience that you had with a book or a poem or a graphic novel or some other piece of literature. Now, it doesn't have to be a positive experience. It could also be a negative experience. It could be a book that you loved, a book that you hated, a book that your parents read to you as a child. It could be something that you were assigned to read in class. But the important thing is that it is an experience that you remember well enough to write about, and that for better or worse, it left a strong impression on you. So what you choose as the focus of your narrative, it doesn't have to be a work of fiction. It could be, right? It could be your favorite childhood story, for example, or it could be a biography. It could be a true story. The only thing that it can't be is it cannot be a textbook. And this is important. This is not a book report. Notice that I underlined it. It's not a book report. So it's not, the subject of the literacy narrative is not to critique the book, not to give 5 stars, 2 stars, not to go into the details of it so much, but your experience with that piece of reading, right? So really, you are the subject of the literacy narrative, not so much the book. And in terms of guidelines here, the tone of the literacy narrative is personal, reflective, and creative. You will write in the I point of view. So this is the only paper in which you are going to do that in this class, right from the I point of view. So this is why we practiced with that exercise from Linda Berry, the 7 minutes of writing exercise. It was to practice the skill of getting into your own head, into your own memories, into your own subjective experience with a memory, right? In at least one paragraph, you must use sensory details to try to put your reader in the time and the place where you had the encounter with the book. So that's where you're going to use those skills that we practiced in that exercise. So remember that putting your reader in the time and the place means remembering the sensory details. Talk about the feel of the pages in your hand, the light in the room, the details of what you see around you. Maybe if it's something that your parents read to you, you could talk about your mother's voice as she read it to you, right? So that's where you're going to, in at least one paragraph, you're going to try to slow it down and really get into those details. You will submit your final draft on Blackboard as a Microsoft Word document with no cover page. It doesn't need a cover page, but on page 1, please include your name, the name of this course, the current date, and a title for your literacy narrative. And don't forget an image, right? So the image, again, it can be the image of the cover of the book. It could be an image of something in the book. It's really up to you. So in thinking about what to write about, it's not so much what happens in the book, but how you experienced that reading, why you felt the way you did. So think in terms of, I loved this book because, or I hated it because, right? So in other words, you're getting into your own kind of subjective experience here. The goal of it is that through the process of writing the literacy narrative, you get a better understanding of your tastes and interests as a reader and where you'd like to go next in your reading life. Okay, so it's an important first assignment as a way of kind of just getting you to talk about the whole process of reading and writing. It offers you space to explore your own writing voice. We're not so much concerned about academic language in this assignment. We have plenty of time to practice that in future assignments. So there's a little note here meant to, resolve some of your fears or anxieties about it. If you follow the instructions, it's pretty difficult to screw this up, right? With all assignments, you're always free to email me with any questions that you have, of course. So this is the grading criteria. The assignment is worth 100 points. So 20 points for including sensory details, 20 points for pasting a related image into your text, 30 points for describing specific ways the experience influenced you. Notice that that's the biggest chunk, right? Always pay attention to whatever the biggest chunk of the points is about. That will tell you what the most important thing in the assignment is, which is describing how the reading experience influenced you. 10 points for separating your text into at least 3 paragraphs per page. Now, some people ask me questions about this. Is it really necessary to include that? Actually, it really is, because I get a lot of papers submitted to me that are not broken up into paragraphs, and that makes your reading unreadable. It really makes your reading unreadable. You need to separate your work into paragraphs. Otherwise, it just is this big, intimidating block of words that hurts the brain. It literally hurts the brain to not have it broken into paragraphs. So not just break it into paragraphs, but into at least 3 paragraphs per page. So please follow that guideline. 10 points for keeping to the required word count. I'm not so concerned if it goes over 1,100 words, but if it's under 900 words, I am going to notice. So please make sure that you get at least 900 words in this assignment. 10 points for turning it in on time. Of course, we all want to be timely. Now you notice that I kind of skipped over a little piece of this assignment, and that is about the examples. So we do have examples for the literacy narrative. So if you're wondering, well, what is a literacy narrative? What is it supposed to look like? I have posted examples from the New Yorker magazine of professional literacy narratives from professional writers. So let's close out this assignment and look at them. Underneath the literacy narrative assignment are the literacy narrative examples. So here we can see that there's a note on the assignment here. Please read the 2 literacy narrative examples from the New Yorker magazine. They are written by professional writers and should give you a good idea of what a literacy narrative can be. In the discussion board post due Tuesday, September 14th, you will be asked to share your thoughts in writing about the one that you liked best. Okay, so you are to read both of these. This is your assignment for this week. Read both of these literacy narrative examples and then choose one to write about in the discussion board forum. So let's just click on one of them here. They're both PDFs. They should open up really easily, right? So this is called Surrendering, Immigrating into English by Ocean Vuong. So Ocean Vuong is a fiction and nonfiction writer. He has several books and essays, collections of essays published. And this is, you can see 1 page, 2.5 pages. It's not very long, right? So a literacy narrative is not a super long form, right? It's a short essay. And he's writing about a memory of a school assignment that he did as an elementary school child in an ESL setting. All right, so I'm not going to give you any spoilers. All right, the second one. It's called The Book by Hisham Matar. Okay, or Hisham Matar. So this is about the same length, as you can see, right? It's not even 3 pages long. And it's a memory from childhood about a book that was in his parents' house that he found to be curious and mysterious. All right. So those are the 2 of them. All right. So you can see that they're very different. They have different focuses, and the idea here is writing about the process of, it's called a literacy narrative because it's writing about the process of becoming literate. And that is actually something that we never stop doing. That's kind of a surprise to a lot of people, but it isn't like one moment you learn how to read and ta-da, you're literate. Literacy is something that we continue learning every day of our lives as long as we keep the practice of reading and writing. So this is a narrative about learning and about discovery, right? So these are some examples that you can read. Now, after you've read both of them, choose the one that you like best, and then you're going to go to the discussion board forum, and the discussion board forum is under here. Remember that if you don't see this sidebar, it means that this little tab has closed. Keep it open. Go to discussions, and you will see under discussions, literacy narrative examples, thoughts, and ideas. Follow the instructions here. This is the grade breakdown for the discussion board post, right? Remember that you need to respond to at least 2 other students. So after you post, go back out of the forum and go back in again a little bit later and see if you can find 2 people to respond to. You need to respond to 2 other students. And you are going to focus on these questions here, right? What about this literacy narrative speaks to you? What in your life experience helps you to connect with it? Where do you see examples of sensory details bringing the story to life? Now, this is important because both of these literacy narratives do that. Both of them use sensory details to bring the story to life, to bring the reader into that moment. So you're going to find the place in the literacy narrative where the writer does that. Okay, so that's that. We're going to go back to the content folder. Okay. So that's what's coming up, and that is what is due. So remember that if you want to check the due dates, just go back into the Unit 1 folder. Scroll down, right? Literacy narrative is due Monday, September 20th before midnight. Before it's due, you want to read the examples of literacy narratives to get a sense of what they really are, right? And then you're going to discuss it in the discussion board post, which is due September 14th, where you will go up to discussions on this sidebar. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing. So if you have questions, you can email me. If any of this confuses you, if you're not sure about it, but do remember that this Wednesday we are not having class because Wednesday is a holiday, right? So Wednesday and Thursday are holidays, and then we're done with these September holidays. After this, then we're back at a more or less regular schedule. So look for the next video, which will be posted next Monday, which is Monday the 20th. And that is also the date that the literacy narrative is due. All right, I will send out an email reminder about that, but just make a note of it, okay? So everybody have a great day, and I will see you all again on Monday the 20th.